Hi, everybody. Welcome to North of MAGA. I'm your host, Pierre Shields, and today we're going to be talking about China. So Canada ships out resources. China ships back finished goods. On the surface, that looks like normal trade, but beneath it lies a deeper negotiation about power, leverage, and national strategy. Today, we explore Canada's trade relationship with China, past, present, and most importantly, where it's heading under new leadership and back-channel deal-making involving Mark Carney. Stay with me until the end because I'll break down what Canada must do to stop being just a resource exporter and start positioning itself as a strategic industrial power. Something Carney himself seems to be signaling in his new economic diplomacy efforts with Beijing. Fast history. Canada recognized Beijing in 1970. When China joined the WTO in 2001, trade exploded, but a pattern formed. Canada exported raw materials, China exported finished goods. Even early on, some analysts warned, Canada looked more like a resource colony than a strategic economy. Tensions and trade weapons. Things shifted after the Huawei affair. China weaponized trade, banning canola, pork, and agricultural exports. This wasn't just a sanction, it was a warning. China doesn't just negotiate, it punishes. Canada responded with new language, de-risking, economic security, foreign interference review. But despite political frost, trade volume continued to rise, proving that economics and diplomacy do not always move together. Present reset, enter Mark Carney. In 2025, something changed. Ottawa stopped using inflammatory language and began speaking in measured, transactional terms. That shift coincided with Mark Carney stepping onto the international stage as Canada's economic statesman, someone with deep credibility in global finance, central banking, and climate-linked industrial investment. Carney isn't approaching China ideologically. He's approaching it as a negotiator. Visiting Beijing, signaling economic openness, but with conditions tied to industrial benefits and supply chain positioning. Unlike previous Canadian leadership that reacted from a defensive stance, Carney is adopting a strategic negotiator posture. Yes, we will trade, but trade must build Canadian capacity, not hollow it out. 3 futures for Canada-China trade. Scenario number 1, Strategic Partnership 2.0. This is the Carney doctrine in action. Don't stop trade, reshape it. Canada stops exporting just lithium and nickel and instead builds processing hubs, battery component plants, clean tech manufacturing nodes. Carney's language around clean growth, transition metals, and domestic supply chains points directly to this scenario. This is the only path where Canada retains pricing power and sovereignty. Scenario number 2, controlled competition. So Canada continues trade, but under intense investment screening, China can buy commodities, tourism, energy, but not data centers, ports, or farmland. Canada simultaneously strengthens trade ties with India, South Korea, Japan, the EU, reducing dependence. This is the most likely path in the short term. A careful balance of trade and caution. Scenario number 3, strategic breakdown. A geopolitical trigger. Taiwan, cyber conflict, Arctic navigation causes trade rupture. China redirects to Brazil, Africa, Australia, while Canada scrambles due to lack of processing industry. This is the vulnerability scenario, where Canada discovers too late that it built no internal leverage. The core lesson, trade with China is not the danger, dependency is. If Canada wants sovereign negotiating power with China, the US, or anyone, it must process before exporting, treat minerals, data, and energy as strategic assets, build domestic midstream industry near ports and logistics corridors, negotiate not as a supplier, but as a manufacturing nation. This is the leverage strategy, and it echoes Carney's economic language around building value chain sovereignty. Thanks for watching. I'm Pierre Shields. This has been North of MAGA. If you enjoyed, please like, please subscribe, please share. We're trying to build a channel, which is great. Thank you so much for your amazing comments. A lot of encouraging people out there, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Go play outside.